in the middle. Paul has already played a Volcanic Island and a Mishra's Factory, and that looks like a Grim Lavamancer already on the field.
It's tapped, so I'm assuming Edgar's at 19 right now. Edgar with a Flooded Strand.
We've got to assume that that Edgar's going to be dropping a couple more life points to those flooded strands pretty quickly.
All right, so Edgar chooses to pass, neglects not to play his Dark Confidant on turn 2. Elects to not play the Dark Confidant.
Wasteland comes down from Paul, activates the Mishra's Factory, and Paul looks like he's just trying to get some
quick
damage in.
Edgar's going to sacrifice this Flooded Strand and presumably get a Tundra. Now, we can probably expect a Swords to Plowshares on the Mishra's Factory. It's pretty good. It saves some damage and acts as a Stone Rain effect here. So the Swords to Plowshares will hit that Mishra's Factory. Paul Mastriano has the Mental Misstep in hand. Edgar's going to crack that fetch land, go down to 17, grab an Underground Sea, and we can expect him to perhaps Spell Pierce the Mental Misstep, or he might Brainstorm looking for something to do. No, it's a Spell Pierce. And the factory goes away. Edgar is happily sitting with both of his lands now that the Wasteland is tapped, and he will drop down to 16 from that hit by the Grim Lavamancer. Now he has this Hymn to Turok in his hand. One of his lands does not produce black mana, so he's going to need to find another black source before he can hymn his opponent. But Hymn is one of those cards that actually gains value as your opponent's hand size becomes smaller. So
right.
It's not the end of the world.
So there's a Dark Confidant from Edgar and Spell Pierce from Paul.
All right, now Edgar stuck on 2 lands, in danger of being hurt very badly by this Wasteland on Paul's side.
Yeah, Edgar running just 18 lands, it looks like, which is
a bold move, to say the least.
It is pretty bold. Like, I think 20 is probably a little better for him, possibly up to all the way up to 23, depending on how
Nothing
you
in his
feel
deck
about.
really costs more than 2,
right?
Besides a pair of Vendilion Clicks. So
he does have a really low curve.
And he also has Chrome Moxes.
Okay, didn't see those, so that at least helps a little bit. But this seems like a pretty tough situation for him to be in. Stuck on 2 lands, not necessarily stuck on 2 lands, but only having 2 lands, getting 1 wasted. Does appear to have at least a Flooded Strand in hand, so it might not matter. He may just be a master.
Scrub land here could be very clutch.
And that's what he grabs.
So this scrub land will turn on Edgar's Hymn to Turok, which is what I imagine he'll play this turn.
Yep, and there it is. Hymn to Turok. From
my
Edgar.
favorite Hymn to Turok art. He's got a D4. There you go. And
so he hit Batterskull, and what was the first card?
okay. I'm surprised. I didn't see what the first one was.
What did he hit with that? We're gonna find out. Okay. Missed that first card, but saw the Batterskull.
Now, Edgar's going to need to find a removal spell for this Lavamancer before he can stick a Stoneforge, Confidant, or V-Click.
It was Swords to Plowshares, by the way.
Okay. It's a good card to hit. Edgar plays a Thoughtseize. Paul reveals Engineered Explosives, Force of Will, and Swords to Plowshares. I'm interested to see see what he chooses to take here.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what I would take myself. It kind of depends on what his plan is here, but
His opponent can't really get a value out of any of the cards in his hand at this point.
At the moment, he can't even cast Force.
Yeah.
Hard cast or he has no blue spell to remove, so that's a dead card. Sword
Paul
seems
is
like the
going
best
to
idea.
remove 2 cards to shoot Edgar down to 11 here. Paul draws a second land. He now has access to Engineer Explosives for 2, which is quite good against Edgar's deck. Edgar really needs to apply some stuff. This Grim Lavamancer is going to eat that.
And so, anybody who's wondering how good a Grim Lavamancer is,
should watch this game.
Yeah, watch this as Edgar just eats 2 damage at the end of every turn. That he doesn't play a threat for Paul to just kill. I mean, he just played Dark Confidant. Seems good, right? No, not when there's an active Grim Lavamancer. All it does is save you 2 life.
Edgar drops down to 11 here.
But Edgar now pretty mana flooded for an 18 land deck.
Yeah, it went from being on the bad end of this to the very good end of this.
Just cannot find an answer to that Grim Lavamancer.
He really needs a Sword to Plowshare.
His only answer is a Swords to Plowshares.
A Batterskull would be a pretty nice answer also.
Yeah, it would definitely help him out with the
Stoneforge for Batterskull.
Right. Help him out in the life gain department, but
mental misstep. It resolves. We know you have Engineer Explosives and Forcible in your head. You can't fool us. And a Brainstorm. That's going to help out a lot here.
At least that's what Edgar's hoping. He sees him, Bitter Blossom, I think, and something else. Spell Snare, maybe? Maybe he had the Spell Snare.
I think it's the spell Pierce, actually.
I think he may have had Snare as well.
No. I think he may have already had the...
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't have Snare in the deck, so it couldn't have been... Oh, yeah, he does. Sorry.
Yeah, he has 3 copies.
Him, Batterskull, Mystic. Oh, that's what he drew. Okay.
Edgar's going to put 2 cards back that he plans on shuffling away. He's going to him his opponent down to 0 cards. He's going to get that Engineer Explosives and Force of Will out of his opponent's hand. And then he's going to pass. He's going to have to pop this Polluted Delta on his opponent's end step.
It's funny, it's like he wants to crack the fetch lands, but at the same time he gave Paul an extra activation of that Lavamancer basically for free. Dropping to 5 life. And he does have the Stoneforge Mystic and Batterskull.
And that's going to be good enough. See, Edgar went from being in a somewhat precarious situation to having complete dominance in this game. He needs to draw a 5th land to play this Batterskull.
He's not necessarily out of the woods yet, because if he does not have a 5th land, that Batterskull is stranded. He had a 5th land, it was just wastelanded. So the Lavamancer cuts off any sort of shenanigans with the Stoneforge Mystic, and then the Wasteland cuts him off of his 5th land, so he can't hardcast that Batterskull. Edgar has a 2nd Mystic to add to the board, but what that's going to do is tutor him up a sword and soak up 2 more damage from the Lavamancer.
Gain 2, search your library for a sword.
Yeah, basically. Yep. Kill your Mystic. Paul has a stocked graveyard. He's no danger of running out of cards there. I do see a 5th land now from Edgar. It is a fetch land.
He's debating whether or not it's place, but he has to.
Right. So, goes to 4.
The 4 here.
Hard cast Batterskull here. We don't know what Paul has in hand now. Looks like it resolves. Nice germ, Edgar.
The Edgar Flores germ.
Yeah. So if Paul can deal with that Batterskull, he probably just wins. Paul cracks both fetch lands.
And if that's a Jace in his hand, he's going to be in a pretty awesome spot here.
He gets a Tundra and a Tundra.
And that
looking like it
probably
could very well
means
be a
it's
Jace. And 4 mana, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Bounce your germ. Attack you with a Lavamancer down to 4.
Yeah.
Or is his life total 3 now? Because I think he cracked a fetch land too. And Edgar packs it in.
Wow.
Yeah,
Just like that.
can't find an answer for a Grim Lavamancer. An unanswered Grim Lavamancer pretty much goes all the way right there.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the card we have to look forward to in the upcoming Standard.
Yeah, it's
I'm excited.
Very,
actually.
very real card. And of course, the cards that people are playing in Standard aren't quite as squishy,
Yeah.
so it's not
Grim
going to be
Lavamancer, your
as.
Titan is not so
But
frightening.
he can still hit those Lotus Cobras.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are going to be other 2 toughness creatures that people play. Now going to the sideboard here.
It's interesting because the Grim Lavamancer can play aggro or control. You know.
Edgar has some Inquisition of Kozilek's he can bring in. He has a few copies of Disenchant. Yes, I don't know if this is Dante Blast.
I believe that's Dark Blast.
Dark Blast. Okay.
Dante Blast, not a card.
Yeah, I was pretty confused by this. So Spell Pierce, Inquisition of Kozilek, and Disenchant are probably coming in for Edgar. And I imagine an extra Batterskull.
Seems good. Looking at Paul's side, he's got Vendilion Click, very good in those Jace Wars, so you can add a second one of those. Apparently this is Vendilion Sick. Right? It doesn't seem to have added an L in the word click. But yeah, he could add a Vendilion Click, and Phyrexian Metamorph seems good against opposing Batterskulls.
So does Manriki Gusari.
Absolutely. So he's got both of those as options. Red Elemental Blast, also really good against the blue decks.
Edgar may even not know that Manriki Gusari is a card. You have to remember that
That's
Edgar
true.
has been playing for
What, a year or two?
probably about a
Or
like a little over a year, maybe like
Okay.
13 months now.
okay.
I remember when he first started top ending all these events, he had been playing for maybe 7 months or so,
Yeah.
8 months.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not too bad at Magic. So Edgar brings in 2 Spell Pierce, 1 Batterskull, and 3 Inquisition. He decides he does not want to bring in his Disenchant effects.
Or make sure that your cut is getting sent to the right place.
Interesting too how good that Dark Blast seems like it would be. Hits Vendilion Click, hits Lavamancer, hits a Stoneforge Mystic if you dredge it, during the upkeep. So it takes out every one of those creatures. Seems like it would actually be really, really good. I mean, just that one copy. And he declines to bring it in. Now I don't know what he saw as far as Paul's deck besides the Grim Lavamancer. I mean, as far as creatures are concerned, but that seems good. He took out 4 Hymn to Torok, so
Interesting.
that is interesting. Typically one of the stronger cards in Legacy, but I guess against somebody playing something like Standstill and Spell Snares, not as impressive.
Certainly not. I like that Edgar's not afraid to take out his hymns A lot of people are like, well, this is one of my better cards. I can't touch it no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, definitely a good player, but also just willing to do things that people don't expect. We think he may have taken out 2 more Spell Pierce.
Okay. That's somewhat surprising to me.
Yeah.
It counters Jace.
Right, Spell Pierce is so good against Jace. I mean, you saw right there where Paul had exactly 4 mana to cast that Jace. Spell Pierce would have been nice for Edgar to have there. Although I think he was tapped out at that point. That was when he tapped out for Batterskull, so Spell Pierce would have been irrelevant for him.
Yeah, he actually had the Spell Pierce in hand.
Yeah. So Edgar leads with Polluted Delta.
And Paul answers with a Scalding Tarn. He's going to crack that, and if he's playing a 1-drop, it's probably going to be a Grim Lavamancer. Which is unfortunate for Edgar. Paul only has 2 copies of Lavamancer in his deck.
And he seems to have it again, you know. Sometimes people are just good at that. Always have it.
So Edgar goes ahead and cracks that Delta. He's going to go down to 19. And he's grabbing a Scrubland. That Scrubland is going to let him cast Swords to Plowshares in this Grim Lavamancer.
Yeah, this time he has the answer that he was looking for all last game.
Ooh, a Dark Blast.
Oh, it is Dark Blast. Okay, so he did bring that in. That's good. I think that's just so good.
Oh.
It hits every creature that is in Paul's deck.
Yeah, V-Click. The only thing it doesn't hit is Stoneforge Mystic.
Well, I mean, it hits it and then you dredge it and you hit it again.
Yeah. You can 2-card it if you already had the Dark Blast in hand.
And Edgar has a Stoneforge Mystic.
Let's see what he finds with this. I imagine he's going to go get a Batterskull. Yeah.
Dark Blast seems really good alongside Grim Lavamancer. Dredge.
Yeah.
You know, poke something for 2, Dark Blast for an extra one. Now you can hit up to 4 power creatures if you have the Dark Blast in your hand. That seems like a nice little combo for Legacy. Nice little interaction. Repeatable interaction. Repeatable removal up to 4 toughness.
Search this library for Manriki Gusari. Now, I wonder if Edgar knows what this card does.
I think he probably does. I mean, if he's been talking to AJ or Drew or any of those guys, I mean, they've talked about this card. So, I think he's aware of it. The more I think about it. I'm sure he read it the first time he saw it. Well, I mean, probably everybody read it the first time they saw it. But, you know, recently probably was like, wait a minute, what does that do?
If I was Edgar, Manriki Gusari, I believe you have to equip it to get the activated ability, right?
Yeah, it's equip, and then the creature, I think, has tap to destroy target equipment. So Swords to Plowshares on the Stoneforge Mystic. So Edgar has a Swords to Plowshares and a Dark Blast to answer Paul's creatures. And there's a Chrome Mox from Edgar. Looks like he's trying to decide what to imprint. He imprints a Spell Pierce on it. So Chrome Mox for blue. Plays a Dark Confidant. And then attacks with the Stoneforge Mystic. So Edgar has a really good position in this game.
Yeah, he's very, very far ahead right now.
Just that Dark Blast really makes things tough for Paul. I mean, what is he gonna do here? I mean, what is he play that's not just gonna die to Dark Blast? Okay, Manriki Gusari, got it. That you need to equip that, right? You know, it's not gonna do anything without a guy, and Edgar's gonna be able to keep almost every guy off the table. with Dark Blast. Not only that, but it's not as if he's in danger of dredging himself to death because he's got plenty of pressure on the board, just with Confidant and then what that Mystic represents.
So Edgar crashes it for 2, puts Paul down to 17. Edgar also at 17 right now. He's going to go ahead and drop this Batter Skull into play right away.
Yeah, so Batter Skull, Germ, and Edgar is in a really good position right here. So he has a blue mana up for any potential, if he needs a Spell Pierce for Jace, if he did indeed keep those in.
Edgar,
not sure if he did or not, but
been reading Gatherer, the list of cards that are legal in the format right now for the past little while, and playing around everything. Drops a Batter Skull main phase in an effort to dodge. What is it? The an effort to dodge Sudden Shock.
Well, Edgar does have the Spell Pierces in his deck, and Paul does have the Jace. Jace hits the board. Edgar Spell Pierces. Paul Force of Wills back, and Jace appears to have resolved. Jace bounces the Germ. Not nice way to buy yourself a little time, but with an active Stoneforge, it's not all that scary.
Yeah, I mean, he can simply attack the Jace with the Confidant and attack his opponent with the Stoneforge.
Yeah. So, kill your Jace, hit you for 1.
And now Edgar can just pass with some manas open to have all sorts of fun on his opponent's turn.
Yeah. Looks like is he gonna Bitter Blossom here?
I don't know if that's right. He might.
Yep, Bitter Blossom.
Yeah, I guess just having the Batter Skull on the table is pretty sick with Bitter Blossom.
Yeah.
You can just turn those things into base layers.
So Paul brainstorms, and Edgar has the misstep,
Nice.
which he pays for.
When you have a Bitter Blossom and a Confidant, you start realizing that. Yep, so Edgar will drop to 15 right away.
Yeah, it takes 1 from the Dark Confidant and 1 from the Bitter Blossom.
Thank you, sir.
Alright, now, let's see, Edgar's probably going to serve with, alright, Thoughtseize. This will put Edgar down to 13.
Just a Flooded Strand.
Shows opponent a Flooded Strand.
Not much of a threat.
And Edgar's going to attack his opponent for 3. Put his opponent down to 12. 12 to his 13. Now, I believe he'll pass the turn. Paul drops down to 11 by cracking that fetch line. He's going to search his library for a Tundra, and that's a Beta Tundra, very pretty. Just thinning his library a bit. And he just has a Flooded Strand in hand. Edgar's hoping that his opponent doesn't top deck something very powerful.
Paul seems very flooded. Not only does Edgar have a pretty good way to deal with any actual threats besides Jace, I mean, the Dark Blast deals with everything besides Jace is what I mean. But Paul isn't even making him use it because he just only seems to have lands. So, Bob and Fairy into the red zone for 3. Can we get a life total check? Is that what we're checking?
Yeah, this is the life total. I believe Paul is now at 8.
Sounds right.
And Edgar is now at 10, yes.
Okay.
He just took 3 from an attack.
All right. Another Stoneforge from Edgar. think we may as well go to game 3. I'm wondering what Paul's hoping to draw into because.
Engineered explosives.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot he had that in his deck.
Pretty
That would be helpful.
But the batter skulls are going to make it somewhat difficult.
Yeah, I was just doing the count there. See, only 3 colors, so not going to take care of everything, quite everything, but we'll do a pretty good job at slowing Edgar down.
Let's see, Paul also has Wrath of Gods in his sideboard.
And there's a batter skull. So those fairies look awful lot like Emiria angel birds.
Yeah. Those aren't fairies.
So, Batter Skull, Bob, Stoneforge Mystic, 2 fairies, all going into the red zone. There it is, okay. Going to game 3.
Ooh, the game 2 handshake.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused too. I had to look at the games. I was like, wait, did I go
wait a second.
I think we're okay for the thing.
Now, sideboarding for game 3. I'm interested to see. Edgar seems to have gone a board position route for game 2, which I like a lot. He's no longer trying to interact with the hands. He's just trying to put stuff on the table.
Yeah, and it works because Paul couldn't keep anything on the table but a Manriki Gusari that was useless. Nothing to equip it to. Just this equipment just kind of laying there on the battlefield.
And I imagine Paul might even take out some of his 1 toughness guys now that he saw Dark Blast from Edgar.
Yeah,
I can't imagine you'd keep them in, right?
I mean, I don't know. What are his options, though?
You kill them with
what does he do?
And,
well, I mean, yeah,
he's
he's got Metamorph, which he may have brought in anyway.
Threads of Disloyalty. I guess he's definitely brought that in already.
Yeah, it seems to me
Edgar
that he doesn't. He's just cold to Dark Blast in general in the 75.
Yeah, I don't think Edgar knows how much he needs the Vindicate and the Disenchants. So he could get punished for that in game 3.
Can you hand me a water? Thank you, sir.
This is the game for all the marbles. The winner of this game will make it to the top 8. Paul chooses to play first. Yeah.
I like this matchup. It's 2 similar decks. Edgar chose to go with the blue-white-black, and Paul with the blue-white-red, and it's kind of cool. Like,
yeah,
a lot of similar cards.
Lavamancer definitely wins in this mirror question, but cards like Bitter Blossom really push your equipment over the top.
Right. Dark Blast, though, again, like deals with everything in Paul's deck. So Edgar sees that Dark Blast, and Paul really, I mean, it's like he needs a Tormod script or something to deal with it.
Yeah, something really random.
Yeah, Relic of Progenitus or something. It just seems very, very good, very strong.
Now, both players are presenting. Neither player wants to draw on this spot. If they draw, then they're both not going to make the top 8 of this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if there's a situation where they're going to draw, I think somebody concedes because it's no good for either one of them. At least that's my stance on being in this kind of situation.
right, so see, does Paul choose to keep? He's on the play, and yes, he does. And Edgar follows suit.
Nice black bordered island there from Paul.
Yeah, beta lands.
Thought seize from Edgar. Mental misstep
Mental
from
misstep
Paul.
from Paul. Edgar bends the thought seize and passes back. Ooh, Paul seems to have kept a one-lander. Very dangerous. I mean, even if he hits a second land, if it's not a fetch land, he's in big trouble. He misses his second land drop and puts 2 non-lands back on the top of his library. This seems to be far and away in Edgar's favor.
Edgar has a Stoneforge Mystic. Paul shows him a Force of Will. Yeah, when you don't have lands, you have all business. So there's potential for more Force of Wills in Paul's hand. Can't really see, but
Edgar's going to go ahead and attempt to cast another threat here.
Yeah, so.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. So
I guess
Paul stuck on one end, then Dillion click at the end of Paul's turn. And yeah, here, take a look. Batterskull, Crucible, Mental Misstep, Jace. Oh my gosh, that's a.
I just keep it.
Look at that hand. 4 new Phyrexia cards.
Yeah.
Jace and Crucible, like, wow. Obviously, it's just 2 new Phyrexia cards, but you know. He can't cast anything but Mental Misstep.
If Edgar's not tired right now, he will say, "You may keep this hand."
Yeah. He says, he kind of waved his arm like, yeah,
like,
you can keep all that
don't
crap.
Worry about it.
I just won't cast 1 casting cost spells. Good luck.
Until you're at 4.
Yeah. Stoneforge Mystic from Edgar. Gets a Batterskull. Probably just passes. No? Says Bob. I'll play Dark Confidant too. Just in case you weren't sure that I was just going to destroy you. So Paul top decks Wasteland. Not really relevant because Paul's not using that Wasteland to waste anything right now.
Yeah. Once he gets the Crucible out, Wasteland Crucible is a very effective strategy against Edgar's deck, but at this point, Edgar has too much on the table for that to become effective.
Right.
Like, you need to deal with the board before you can even start to think about that.
Edgar's fine with an Armageddon right now, I think.
Yeah.
Edgar'd be fine if Paul just said, Armageddon for free? Is that alright? That's fine.
No problemo, amigo. Here we are.
So,
Edgar crashes in for 5, puts Paul down to 11.
And,
Edgar's such a master.
Wow.
I met Edgar earlier this year in Canada, and he was completely new to the game, and he made day 2 at the GP with ease, and then was crushing people in drafts all weekend. And I was like, who is this guy? Drops the Batterskull into play, reveals a Mental Misstep off the top of his library for that Confidant, and now he can actually fight through his opponent's Mental Missteps, no problem.
If he taps out for Grave Titan here, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, wait, what?
So, Mental Misstep, no problem.
Yeah, it's just like, that's fine. I was just going to take a Mental Misstep anyway.
That's all I wanted to do.
I know you have the Mental Misstep.
It's Paul down to 2, yep. And he's going to pass the turn back. Paul draws and concedes, presumably.
Does Paul play Sensei's Divining Top? He does. So he could tap the Wasteland for a top, and then Mental Misstep it by paying Phyrexian mana to kill himself. Just the honorable thing. So.
Is that live? Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be on YouTube.
All right, so
right.
Edgar wins
Edgar.
game 3 there.
Another top 8 for Edgar Flores.
Another top 8 to add to the list. So, yeah.
Welcome back.
We're
I'm
back.
Jacob Van Lunen,
And I'm Joey Pasco.
and we're here in Baltimore, Maryland. We're covering the Legacy Open, and we just finished the last round of Swiss. Edgar Flores won that match. That secures his spot in the top 8. Another top 8 for Edgar Flores.
Wow. So, I think earlier in the year we were calling him Edgar the Master Flores just for his top 8s with Cawblade, and he just continues to prove it.
Oh yeah, I mean, now
it's
he's playing other decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, this deck might be similar to Cobblade, but he's not even playing
Right.
Jace. He went a whole different route with this deck, and
Yeah.
I mean, Edgar has never been somebody who just really loved Jace. Edgar is somebody who loves Stoneforge Mystic.
Stoneforge Mystic, yeah. So, kind of interesting, kind of question to think, what is Edgar going to be playing in the new standard? I've never seen him not play Stoneforge Mystic besides the little time where he's playing Bug
America.
in Legacy, yeah, Team America.
I don't know. He lives pretty close to me. I do see him from time to time, so maybe I'll ask him, see what he thinks is good. Maybe he'll quit.
Yeah, I quit Magic.
It's the only reason I play this Stoneforge Mystic card.
Right,
Come on.
I mean, I guess he just quit Standard and just plays Legacy. So, I don't know. Seems like, I don't know. Seems like he's having a ball in Legacy, and
Yeah, an
obviously
impressive show, man.
doing really well. That was kind of brutal for Paul. Kind of, he took over game 1 with a Grim Lavamancer. Edgar couldn't draw an answer, but that was the last we saw of Paul. I think game 2, Edgar has a Dark Blast, and that just shuts down Paul's deck. Game 3, Paul just has nothing to play. So, unfortunately, Paul Mastriano just good showing all the way up until now, and just can't seem to.
Yeah, it's got to be
Seems to have
frustrating for him.
answers
He went X1 previous to this, so he hadn't even gotten that draw that Edgar had. His tiebreakers were not very good though, so he was forced to play the match against Edgar. He was also forced to play because he was paired down against Edgar, and he
Edgar
picks up
wins
his
it.
second loss, and that's it. And sometimes that's how a tournament goes. But great showing by him. He will be in the top 16 of this tournament.
Yeah.
And that's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. So, what we know, I don't know if we can get some reports on maybe some other tables, but I know it looks like a lot of stuff's still going on. How much? Yeah, okay, we're going to find out. Is there a lot of time left in the round, or just out of curiosity? 10 minutes? Okay, 9 minutes. All right. So, cool. Wrapping up here around 9.
So just 10 minutes left in the round, and then we'll be ready to announce the top 8 for you guys.
Yeah, so Paul Mastriano loses to Edgar. So we know Edgar's in. Haven't heard any word from any of the other guys. We're pretty sure Ken Adams is in. Almost.
David Shields, I saw him walking around
Yeah,
right
he's
after the round started, so he's
Very
definitely
likely
in.
in. Yeah, I mean, he's in second place here, so.
Brian Pollock in.
Yeah.
Micah Greenbaum in.
So, well, I'm going to
And
take.
I'm not sure about Ely or Alex.
Right, it's very likely that we have these guys in. I think we can say that for pretty sure. Edgar in, very likely. So we've got 3 other guys, and now it's probably between Jacob Simmons, Ely, Cassis, Alex Bertoncini, and John Winters.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob and Ely may have even drawn. It's not
Right.
unsafe for them.
But that
Alex
may...
and John may not.
Is there... Yeah, how does this work if... all right, so if these guys drew,
Yep.
right, Alex and John couldn't, right, so this puts probably both of them in, and then one of these guys, and then Edgar's probably the... possibly one of the
Edgar is...
one of the ways it could go.
Edgar's definitely going to top 8 now.
Okay.
And Elliot Dicker and Ben Friedman, who are both X1-1 going into this round, may actually miss. We have some really exciting news for you guys.
That's right.
So we have a preview card at midnight.
For M12, yeah.
StarCityGames.com. And we can't say anything about it right now. But
Mostly because we have no
get
other...
you guys excited. I actually don't
we
even
don't
know
know
anything else about it right now.
What we know is that StarCityGames.com is going to have an M12 preview at midnight tonight.
Yeah.
So that's what we know. Passing that info along to you. We may be able to get a little bit more information in a little while.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they make a Kim Kardashian card. I've been waiting for that for years.
Wow. But it may be emergency banned before the set comes out. I mean, go in the way of the memory jar kind of thing. It's a bit much. So we're also going to be giving away premium in the top 8, as always. 3 months in the quarterfinals, 6 months in the semifinals, and I think 12 months. 12 months in the finals. Why not? A whole year.
A whole 12 months?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So we're going to take a break until we get the final standings, and then we'll be back, let you know what those standings are, and we'll be showing you the top 8. So 10 minutes or so, we'll be back.
Be well, guys.